I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hello, Superwomen. I am late luteal phase. It has been gray here in Canada for past 2 weeks. So you can probably catch a vibe for my mood. I might be a little spicy today. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of processing, especially about the time that I spent together with all of the women in person at our retreat. And whether it's the women that I work with in my groups at the retreat, the women that I've connected with over the last month, things have been heavy. There's been a lot of transformation. Things are getting messier before they're getting better. And just this week, it's Mercury retrograde, full moon, and an eclipse. So I've been thinking about 3 things: dark desires, the things we secretly want, but we're scared to admit even to ourselves due to societal conditioning and what is acceptable and not acceptable and what we are told we should or shouldn't have. And this is a huge loss of our power, a loss of our vitality, a loss of our health. I taught on this in detail at our in-person retreat, and the feedback was, I've never done deeper work. I did 10 years of therapy and personal development, and things have never landed this deeply. So let me give you an example of a dark desire, and go with me. And if you judge these immediately, just witness what comes up. So an example of a dark desire: if I could only get in a small car accident, maybe I could go to the hospital and rest for a few days. Or I wish my partner's ex would die. I wish my partner would die so I could find my next great love. I wish I never got married. Now, these things are real and you think them too, and they might be so subconscious that you think them and then you shove them back down or whatever. But listen, because now that I put it into your awareness, you're going to hear your dark desires come up. The next thing that I've been thinking about is energy leaks. Why are we doing the self-care, hiring the staff, setting better boundaries, and we are still not as happy, energetic, and turned on as we want to be or we know we could be? And the third thing is pussy truth. What we know in our pussy, in our coal, in our soul to be true, we love to run from these, hide them, deny them, suppress them, numb them. And these are 3 areas that superwomen struggle. So I've been thinking about the ways we've been taught to suppress our desires, pleasure, and ultimately our power because of society, because of good girl conditioning, because of growing up in dysfunctional homes where we had childhood abuse or our needs were not met. And we were taught to give to others before we gave to ourselves, to suppress our true needs, do it yourself, don't ask for help, make do with what you have. Your feelings are wrong. You're too emotional. You're too needy. You're too much. And that sets us up to be caretakers and not having our needs met in adult relationships. And the fucked up part is that in all of this, we blame ourselves. We think that we have more work to do and we should take another course, listen to another podcast, etc., instead of assessing the 3 things that I just talked about: dark desires, energy leaks, and pussy truth. This is our way out, Superwomen. There's a certain sense of magic that happens when we get women in a room together. I think this is why in some cultures there are bans or laws against it. Years of patriarchal bullshit dissolves in days When we're in a room together, our desires, our truth, our power is restored. It's easy to hold it. And it is so easy to lose it when we go back to our everyday life, back to the daily tasks, the people to support. It's easy to lose focus on ourselves and what we desire in the overgiving and overfunctioning of others. I want to give you some insight into this because it was so powerful for the women attending our retreat. And you don't need another coach or a thing to do, book to read. We need to do this work, the work that turns us back to ourselves, back to our power, back to our pussy truth. That's when life starts working, things start flowing with ease. The problem is sometimes our truths and desires are not so convenient because our current life doesn't fit. And that is probably one of the number one reasons that women choose or get scared of working with me, because it's like, oh my goodness, if I see these things, speak these truths, then I'm going to have to blow my whole life up, change my career, leave my marriage, etc. So not the case. And we have 12 women doing this work and proving that right now. Just by telling the truth, things shift for the better. So we examined our dark desires, our hidden source of playing small, surviving on crumbs, settling for less than we desire in one or more areas of our life. We need to start telling the truth about this. Truth so clear you can feel it in your pussy, in your root chakra. The ladies at the retreat were saying it was like Pandora's box, and once we've seen it, we can't unsee it. And then once we start telling these truths, our next step is about remembering who we were before the Superwoman conditioning got in the way. The overfunctioning, the under-receiving, the shame, the self-abandonment, the hustle, the lack that we were taught to carry as a badge of honor and responsibility. We were taught we had to give up ourselves to be a good mother, daughter, friend, employee, earner, hustler. We were taught we had to earn love and our right to feel pleasure, had to fear our desires, that somehow our desire and turn on is going to lead us down this path of shame and abandonment. Fear if we follow our desires, we will be alone, that there will be a price to pay. We will have to give something up. And that's not desire. That is fear and patriarchal lies. I want to just touch on desire. Desire is what is alive within us. Our desires are never wrong. Suppressing them and pretending that they don't exist is what is wrong, and what is leaking our energy, our power, our turn on, and giving us this society of women and culture suffering from feminine burnout. I have a module specific for desires in my foundational program, Pleasure Principles. So if you're struggling in this area, you are going to want to check that out. So let's unpack one. Desire to have a car accident and rest. Sounds really odd, but think of it like the desire is for rest. And she feels trapped in asking for it, guilty having it, guilty receiving the help. So what is the true issue here? Is it her? Does she have more work to do? Does she have more energy and time management techniques? Probably she has some energy management techniques, but setting better boundaries, managing your time. That's all well and good, but the women that I work with have done that, and there is still more. There's still something missing, something that has not connected. So desire, true desire, is our pussy truth. Pussy truth is in service of everyone and everything. Pussy truth moves us towards our truest self, who we were before the Superwoman conditioning got in the way. Pussy truth knows if we desire it, we are worthy of having anything and everything we desire just because we desired it. And many of us Superwomen, if we're honest, we do this in career. Is there ever a time in career that you have wanted something and not made it fucking happen? No. So I ask all the ladies to think about that. When you've ever really, really wanted something in work or career, when have you not made it happen? And they look at me with blank stares because they know they made it happen every damn time. When it comes to home and love and romantic relationships and fulfillment and being healthy, that is another story. We are settling for less. We're settling for crumbs. So isn't accepting less, surviving on crumbs, shrinking to fit into this box that society tells us we can fit into, pretending that we are satisfied, pretending that we're like really happy with our sex and intimacy, isn't that what's out of integrity? Isn't that what is distorting our reality and draining our energy? The pretending, the correcting, the thinking 10 steps ahead for everyone. So how do we start living more in alignment with our desires and our pussy truth, even our dark desires, which sometimes they just need to be acknowledged to create space for something to shift for the better for everyone involved. So it starts with learning the difference between our pussy truth, dark desires, and fear. We have to be willing to tell deeper truths, be present with high sensation in our bodies, both pleasure and pain. Superwomen are always asking me, they always want the hack. How do I feel more pleasure, more desire, more turn on, more aliveness? And when they realize that we can't just turn up the pleasure dial, but also not turn up the pain dial, we have to turn up feeling. They don't like that answer, but once they start the process, it is magical and not even close to as hard as you think it's going to be. So we also have to feel our feelings, come into alignment with our pleasure and power, and stop trying to suppress, avoid, and deny our desires. Let's reclaim all our desire as something sacred, something that brings us closer to who we are, an energized, turned on, vibrant woman. Learn to trust our pussy truth as worthy of the utmost intention in our day before anything else. And following that kind of truth, following that kind of intuition, that guides us forward. That guides us to the next right step. I'm walking this path currently. Parts of me at war with my conditioning and my truth. My truth telling me to leap, to trust, don't settle. Conditioning telling me that I should have had this figured out right now. Stay safe, stay small. But I will be damned to live a life of anything less than being well fucked, open-hearted, connected, and supported by the divine masculine and feminine energies around me. So if this podcast resonated, let's work together. I have 2 spots available for my one-on-one coaching in May, and let's uncover the subtle, sneaky things depleting your life force. It's not because you're perimenopausal. It's not because you have 3 kids. It's not because you run a multi-million-dollar company. You are leaking your energy. You are denying your desires. You didn't even know what a dark desire was. And by finding these energy leaks, these pleasure leaks, by stopping telling ourselves the stories of you're too sensitive, settle, normalize, shaming ourselves for not being more grateful, more happy for what all of the amazing things that we have, for the self-blame for thinking maybe it's me, maybe if I was less exhausted, maybe if I was more of a turned on sex goddess, then these things wouldn't be happening. So if you are serious about this, there's limited spots in my one-on-one coaching opening up to let's do the work that brings you back to yourself. This is the missing piece for so many women. We will put the link to apply and let's connect. Let's see if this is a fit for you. If it is not, I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Let's connect and have you become the energized, turned on, vibrant woman that I know is in there. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.